Welcome to the Orderica JMS training videos. In this video, we're going to discuss reports. Start by clicking reports in the bottom left of the screen. In this section, we can create reports about sales and services from account receivable, finished products and gemstones from the inventory, and customer profiles from our database. Let's start by clicking on account receivable at the top here. Immediately, we will be presented with a pop-up window. Start by selecting what type of report you want to generate. For example, let's select Payment Other. Next, select a time frame for the invoices. Click the arrow button on the end of the invoice date field. At the bottom, there are buttons that you can use for quick access to common time frames, such as today or this week. At the top, you also have start and end date fields where you can enter in a more specific time frame if you wanted. Now let's select a customer. Click the magnifying glass on the right to search for a customer in your database. Use the different fields like name or gender to narrow down your search. Once you have found the customer you're looking for, click on them and press the select button on the bottom. Report type, invoice date, and customer are enough to generate the report, but you could also enter in a specific invoice number if you wanted, or filter the results by which employee entered them in. Let's go ahead and press the OK button and see what this report looks like. So here we can see a report for all the invoices made by John Smith this past week using a payment type other than credit card. It gives us information such as invoice number, dates, and prices. If you want, you can export this report to your computer. Click the floppy drive icon here and select from one of the many file formats such as PDF, Excel, or RTF. And begin downloading this report to your computer. There's also the option to print this report to a connected printer by using the print button here. You can press this button to switch to the print preview to get an idea of what the printed page will look like. Next to that, we have the page setup button, which is where you can change things such as the paper size you want to use for printing, as well as the margins. Use the clear button on the right to remove the report from the page. To generate a new report for account receivable again, just simply click on account receivable on the far left here. But now let's move on to the inventory section. Just as before, a window will appear as soon as you click on inventory. The report type will be at the top again, and here we have options like by category or by vendor, and different selections depending on whether you want sold or in-stock items. Then we have all of the fields to filter the report. We can use category or use price ranges to filter finished products, for example. Or we can click on gemstones and use cut and shape, or even polish and symmetry. Enter in as many fields you want for the report and then click OK. You'll then be given a similar report as last time, but now instead of information regarding invoices, you have information regarding the items that fit the criteria you have selected. And again, you have the export and print buttons at the top to use if you'd like. Lastly, we have the customers section. The first report type for this section is the simple list, which doesn't have any filtering fields. It just generates a simple list for all of the customers that are in your database. You can choose to sort these lists by zip code or by the source in which these customers became familiar with your company. These options give you fields such as invoice number and date to help you narrow your results. The top end feature allows you to only look at a certain number of customers instead of generating the entire list. Enter the number of customers you want to see in the list in the top end field. And the layaway report looks at customers who have a layaway item with your company. Here you can look for specific customers if you want, add a time frame, or check these boxes at the bottom, for example, if you wanted to include layaways that have been canceled. You'll notice that this report has multiple pages to it, so be sure to use the arrow keys listed at the top here to change between those pages. Well, that concludes our video. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@orderica.com. Thanks for watching.